The winners have been crowned. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Lexi. Today I'll be briefly recapping the finale of Love Island USA Season 8, and I loved it. The winners are Britnity. The people are saying Britnity to infinity, and I'm here for it, okay? I have been a lover of Britnity from the very beginning. So let's talk about the whole episode. I think this whole episode was a production. I loved what they did. I think this has been maybe the best finale that I've watched, at least. The way they set up the dates, as well as them walking out to the area where they were going to crown the winners, the champions. I love the setup of this finale. It was very, very fun to watch. Even though I did fast forward throughout some of the dates, I always do that. Are you a true Love Island watcher if you don't fast forward through some of these dates? But yes, the dates were great, especially Britnity and Anaya and Carl. They had the best dates by far. Melanie and Sincere had the first date, the very first date of the day, and they had a nice little setup. It was very cute. They had them people working, baking their own pizza, but it was a nice little activity for them. I liked it. And they had the little massage area set out. I don't know why Sincere was doing that whole rock, paper, scissors spiel, because of course you need to give her the massage, Sincere. And especially outside of just being a gentleman, but especially after everything that you've put that woman through this whole season, you're really going to rock, paper, scissors over a massage? Like, please be serious. Please be serious right now, Sincere. Bye. Anyway, they had a cute little date, and I must say these two look good together, and they're actually, I would say, out, like, if Sincere wasn't so diabolical, they could have been like a really good couple, I think, to come out of this, because they seem so compatible. They have like a lot in common in terms of their backgrounds, and they seem to genuinely like each other. But Sincere is who he is. I think, I don't know how long this will last outside of the villa, because when Melanie gets out and she's back under the influence of her family, who were so against her talking to him, her sister was like, you know, I don't know how well that's going to hold up, along with the pressure from the public, even brands. Like, I'm literally seeing brands on TikTok saying what they will do for Melanie if she leaves Sincere. So I don't know if she'll be able to hold out under all of that pressure, but it will be interesting to see how they move forward. So that was the first date, cutesy or whatever. Then we move on to Kayda and Zach. Oh my goodness, what was that? Seriously, Love Island, what was that? This is probably the worst, most like least effort date I have seen in a finale. I don't know what that was. I saw the picture in the preview, and I was hoping they had something else, like maybe they would have the little picnic / lunch thing sitting by the swamp, and then they would do something else. But they didn't have them do anything else. It was literally just that. And it is so obvious the difference between their dates compared to the other couples. I don't know why Love Island did that. I'm going to be honest. Like, in the past seasons, the dates have always been kind of like unbalanced in that way, right? We can see, like, we see it all the time where some couples get a little extra effort, and, you know, like, it's not always equal. But I think with Zach and Kayda this season, it was very unbalanced in terms of the effort that they put into their date. This is like the worst date I've ever seen in a finale. And I don't know why that is, because it is so obvious on camera. I don't know if they purposely wanted to embarrass them, but at this point, Love Island, if that's what you were going to do, you should have just picked the top 3 and sent Zach and Kayda home. Because it's like you didn't want to have 4 dates, or you just rushed, or you know what? This theory just came to my mind. Maybe they didn't think Zach and Kayda were going to make it based off the last votes that we had. Maybe they thought it would have been KC and TT, and that was supposed to be KC's and TT's date. Oh my goodness. I think I might have cracked it. Let me know if you agree. But that just came to my mind because I don't know why they did this. But we know that production isn't the biggest fan of Casey and TT, right? We can tell from how they have been, the edit that they've been getting so far. So maybe they really thought that it would have been them and they just did that. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yes, their date was horrible. And of course, they're not saying much. You know, Zach is still kind of holding out on Kayda. And it's kind of weird to me because I think Zach genuinely likes Kayda. But for some reason, like maybe Zach comes off as the type of man who just wasn't taught how to be a gentleman, or like he's just not good with relationships. I think he likes her, but he just seems like he's not good at relationships. And he's one of those men who really needs to like be taught certain things. So I hope when they get out and Kayda watches it back and he sees some of the things that he was doing. I still don't like Zach at all. But I hope like when he gets the chance to reflect, he'll see where he fell short and do better for Kayda, because she deserves better than the half-ass effort that you've been giving her so far. I want to see a big girlfriend proposal. Like after what you put Kayda through, he didn't plan one date for Kayda in the villa. To be one of the couples who has been there since pretty much day one, he has not planned a single date for Kayda. He didn't do anything special for her on the show, and I think that's kind of why she got frustrated in the end. And I think that's also why, even though they were in top 4, they barely made it to the top 4 because of Zach's low effort. I think if Kayda had any other guy on the show, she would have probably won or came in second place. I know a lot of people like Trinity, but Kayda was very popular when she first came in. And I think if she went with any other guy, literally anyone else, they would have, 1, treated her better, and 2, they would have been more likable as a couple. And I think they would have been like right up there with Trinity. But because Zach was just such a weirdo and a lame ass, they didn't get that attention. I've said it on my channel here before, and I wish Kayda or Melanie had given Caleb a chance. Like when Caleb pulled Kayda for that chat, I wish she had given him a chance, because Caleb is now at, I'm pretty sure Caleb is at 1 million followers on Instagram. Like people really like Caleb. I like Caleb a lot too. He seems like a sweetheart, right? Just from what we've seen on the show. Obviously, I don't know these people in person, but he seems like a great guy. And if Kayda had went with Caleb, I'm pretty sure they would have beaten Trinity. Like that would have been kind of like a match that people would love, because Caleb is so popular and people really likes Kayda. And Caleb would have treated Kayda so much better than whatever Zach did, right? So that would have been something to see. But anyway, that is just like shoulda, woulda, coulda at this point. But yeah, I wish Zach and Kayda all the best. I don't know how their relationship will turn out because he lives in Australia. He was even saying to Bryce like, oh, or I could stay with Kayda, or I could stay with you. Stay with who? Stay with who, Zach? Bryce already told his girlfriend, you know, his girlfriend Trinity, that she is welcomed at his place and his door is always open. There's no room for you. Please go back to Australia, England, wherever you live. Like, stop looking for your ticket to stay in LA, talking about staying with Bryce. And I feel like sometimes Bryce kind of wants to shut him down, but Bryce kind of just has like a calm personality. He doesn't have that, you know, rah about him that'll be like, no, you know, he doesn't want to like poke the bear, I think, or maybe be seen as not a good friend. So I'm glad he's with someone like a Trinity. We've seen Trinity tell him to get out of her bed. So I know that Trinity will not be afraid. Like when they come into the real world, if he thinks he's going to be staying with Bryce, I know for a fact that Trinity will tell him to get his out of the house. Like she's not playing with him. And I'm so happy for that. So I'm not even worried about Zach and what he's talking about. So the next date was Anaya and Carl, and all I have to say is she got her fairy tale ending. Whether they stay together or not, which, just to be honest, I don't think this will really last, but I do like them together. I wish them all the best. And even if it doesn't last, like, she got what she wanted out of this experience in terms of, like, you know, finding someone and really kind of getting that fairy tale. They even gave this girl a full-on book. Like, they gave this girl her own book, which is insane. So that was very beautiful of them. I really liked their date. It was very cute. So the last and final date was Brinity, of course, and they had a beautiful date as well. And I think the night dates are just the best, right? Because we get the beautiful visuals with the lighting, like those decorations. It always looks more just like, you know, beautiful and gives it a wow factor that the day dates just don't give, you know? So I really like their dates. And of course, they were going to top everything with the I love yous. I knew Bryce was going to drop the I love you on this date. Like, and Trinity said it back, and I think that was just so very cute. The perfect way to top it off and end the season. And at this point, if you do not buy into the whole Brinity thing, like, why are you still watching the show? You know, because I see a lot of people complain, oh, this is fake, you're being scammed. And I'm like, well, you're being scammed too, because you're watching the show. These two are like the main characters of the show. They've been day ones, both OGs, and the way they have such a huge storyline in the show. And they were obviously favorites and favorites to win. So if you hate them so much, why were you watching the entire season and just complaining after every episode? It's like, at this point, just don't watch. But yeah, if you choose to watch and be miserable, then that's on you. But I choose to believe in love, and I believe them. I don't care. It's like, no one is saying these people are getting married, right? But they met over the summer. They gave us great TV. They do seem to have a connection. It was beautiful to watch their story develop. I don't know why people watch these two and just choose to be negative and miserable about it. Like, go get a life, please. Leave this 22-year-old girl alone. So they say their I love yous, and then I heard coming out of nowhere. I'm like, what is that? Yo, that scared me through the TV. I don't know how they didn't jump. Like, I would have been TT. Remember when Anaya woke TT up to go on the girls' day, the water park thing, and TT was like out of her sleep? That would have been me, because what was that? They scared the shit out of me. But Trinity and Bryce, they didn't seem to be bothered by it. They were very chill. I don't know if the producers warned them, but they did not seem frightened at all. And that was very cool too to watch. They also had a magnificent date, and I wish them well. I wish them all the best. Next, we move on to the evening session, which is the crowning of the winners. And honestly, I think the order of how things would go was kind of pretty straightforward based on what we've been seeing online, as well as the results from the votes so far, the people who have consistently been at the top and have been favorites. It was very straightforward. Like, my prediction for the 1 to 4, it was pretty spot on. So I wasn't surprised by the results. I think it was great. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Maybe I would have just switched the Zach and Sincere, but I mean, they're both just as bad, so it didn't really matter. I'm glad Brinity won, and the whole thing that they did with, like, you know, their families popping up and wishing them well, like the family members who weren't able to come to the villa, and the celebrities also, you know, popping up. We saw Sierra, Lizzo. I think that was pretty cool, because a lot of celebrities also watched the show, and that kind of gives them an idea of how big it is. So that was cool to see too. I really enjoyed this episode overall, and I wish all the final 4 well. The core 4 girls, I enjoyed watching them this season. I think they made the show. They were a big part of what made the season enjoyable for me. And I hope they stay friends. I really hope they stay friends, and we don't have people coming out of the villa getting jealous and, you know, a repeat of what we had last year. I just hope they maintain their friendship, they stick together, and they, you know, help each other through it. and boost each other up. Reunion is on August 31st, so I'm already looking forward to that. It will be something, I know that for sure, but I'm hoping like the core four girls, they stick together and those friendships will be good and intact. Let me know what you think below. Bye.